Hey guys, here we are in the lovely and pretty Christmassy actually Cadenhead shop. Real reason for being here today is to pick up a pretty special bottle, and we're going to show you that a little bit later. But obviously we're in one of London's finest whiskey shops, so we thought what better to have a little bit look around, see whether there's any bargains, see what exceptional whiskies are here, and check the place out. Most of you will probably know Cadenhead is Scotland's oldest independent bottler, been around since 1842, now part of Mitchell's, same company that owns Springbank and Kilkerran as well. So you will of course see some of those bottles appearing as independents, a few of the Springbank releases as well, but they do also stock other brands that you can see on the shelves as well. So we're going to have a little bit of a look around, see if we can find a bargain, see what we think the best looking bottle of whiskey is here, and also pick up that bottle of Hazelburn 15 Cherry. So the first thing that's caught my eye, there's now a quadruple set of Enigmas. So for those of you that watch the Uncut and Unfiltered podcast, we sat down with Grant and we talked about the Campbelltown blended 15-year-old, which was excellent, really light and fruity. There's also now a Lowland single malt, aged for 10 years, so there's not too many distilleries that this can fit into. Could be a Darth Mill, but very unlikely, so much more likely to be a Bladnoch or a Glenkinchie. I've heard on the grapevine that it might be the former one of the two. 56.4% and just £50. A little bit more expensive is this Islay, year older, although a bit darker in the green bottle, £125. Might be a Lagavulin, but who knows? The real bargain though, I think, is this a blended Scotch whisky, 25 years old for just 70 quid. Pretty good price, definitely going to be an excellent drinker for anyone's collection. So this has pretty quickly caught my eye. It's a single cask Kilkerran, aged for 14 years in a bourbon hoggy, 55.8%. It doesn't say whether it's heavily peated or triple distilled or anything, but you do see on the back of these, you get a nice little breakdown of where we are. So it seems like it's kind of medium peat level and quite savoury. Definitely be interesting to see if I can get a taste of this. And the other thing I like, which we're going to have a look at in a minute, quite a few of these now have 20 cl bottles as well. So even though, again, this is pretty much a bargain at £70, there might be a way of being able to try it for even less. This one's definitely caught my eye, a 26-year-old Ben Rinnes. Now, for those of you that have been watching some of our other videos, you'll know that Ben Rinnes is one of my favourite workhorse distilleries. It's a fabulous Speyside whiskey, works really well in bourbon and sherry. This is a bourbon barrel, and I believe I got to try at the Campbelltown Knots Festival last year an in-progress sample of this when it was about 25 years old. Back then it was delicious. Again, if I can get a sample of this or maybe a smaller bottle today, I'll be all over it. I've also heard from Aaron, Drink Whiskey with Friends, that this is an excellent bottle as well. And again, I think in today's world, £150 for a cask strength, 52.9%, 26-year-old single malt represents really good value. And I think that's one thing that you will see consistently from Cadenheads, that none of these bottles are priced excessively. I mean, up here as well, there's a 29-year-old single grain for less than £100. I don't know what else you can really ask for. This has caught my eye, I think, purely from the colour alone. It is, you can barely see through it at all. 15-year-old Tamdhu. So this is from the original collection. So these ones, you get the slightly dumpier bottle at 46%, but we're still looking at £70 for a 15-year-old Tamdhu, and when it's this colour at 46%, you know the sherry influence is going to be intense. I think it's been a really interesting one as well. Tamdhu obviously works so well with sherry, particularly when you get a good cask. So again, this one's really caught my eye. So not only are there 20 cls, but there are also tasting packs that Cadenheads do whenever a new collection comes out. So actually there's the winter collection that isn't even going to be released for another couple of days, and you've got 6 drams, little 3 cls for £25, which is pretty good value. So there's that new Lowland Bladnoch that I was talking about, an 8-year-old Arran, a 25-year-old Glenkeith, a 16-year-old Invergordon that's in Oloroso, a PX finished Tullibardine, and a nice 17-year-old bourbon matured Kalilas. That's a really good, really varied selection. Again, I think that'd make a really nice gift for someone as well, a little pack like that. It comes in a nice box too. Obviously, there's a little bit more to the shop than just this area. Let's go out the back, pick up the bottle and see what else they have in store. What I really like, these 20CLs, especially when there are so many different releases out there, you get the opportunity to try a few extra things, all a very reasonable price. I've already had a bit of a chat with Luke. He has recommended this 15-year-old Benriach in Manzanilla. Looks superb. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So again, you know, we talked about that Benrinnes earlier. Again, if £150 sounds a bit too much, 20CL available, I think, at £50. There's so many different things in here as well. There's a pheno matured Dalun. You've got 3 different types of Glenrothes at different ages and different cask types. There's the Inchgau that, again, we talked about with Grant on the Uncut and Unfiltered podcast, and there's 3 of the 4 Enigmas available in 20CLs as well. There's even a few little 5CLs flying around as well on top of those tasting packs. So again, you know, there's a blackboard with all the different prices. Again, you can see, you know, all kinds of things, like Glenbergie in Tawny Port as well. So many different cask types. You could spend hours in here having a look around, but I think this is the one that I'm going to go for on top of the Hazelburn. So on top of the 20CLs, there's obviously a bunch of other brands. Again, some world whiskies as well, and the opportunity to also pick up some cigars if that's your thing as well. So you really can have most things that the whiskey enthusiasts want. And then finally, over here, we've got the old and rare with both things from Cadenheads and other brands as well. So from old Talisker 25s right through to a 29-year-old Ardbeg, 31-year-old Jura, and even an old Little Mill as well. There is really something in here for just about everyone. But as I said, I'm going to go for this 15-year-old Benriach on top of the Hazelburn 15 that I have waiting here for me. So here we have the Hazelburn 15 Oloroso. I'm going to be really excited to open this. It's a natural cask strength dram, bottled at 55.8%, distilled back in 2008 and bottled recently in September. These Hazelburns work so well in sherry. There's a real richness in flavour to them. The colour on it is incredible. Obviously needed to be a Springbank Society member to get into the Cadenhead's shop ballot for this one. If you are lucky enough to be a member, make sure you look out for those emails and let them know. So this one, over to Luke now. Let's get it wrapped up, put in the bag, and let's take it home before we crack it open. And so this was your recommendation, Luke, so on you be it.
I mean, we love the dry sherry casks, but this was a bit different.
You don't see, I guess, yeah, there's not huge amounts of Manzanilla flying around. And Benriach, again, I think it's one of those distilleries that works super well with a variety of cask finishes. I think, you know, again, when Billy was there, obviously they, you know, were doing a lot more of that than you see nowadays.
Yeah, we've got so many different, like you said before, we've got so many different casks. It's great for me to learn as well, working in this shop, learning a lot about whiskey. You need a bag then?
No, I'm good. I've got a rucksack with me, so yeah,
oh,
perfect.
Don't drink it all at once.
I'll try my best. So that was Cadenhead's. You know, lovely shop. We've come away with 4 different bottles between us. Don't forget as well, there is also the Cadenhead's Club. It's £50 for lifetime membership. You'll get a discount in the shop, invites to tastings. I just missed one last week. Sadly, I was out of the country, but there will be more coming, of course. And you know, for those kind of priority bottles, some of the things that are really hot, the Ardbergs, the Springbanks, the Kilkerrans, etc. It's your opportunity to get your hands on them before the general public too. I think, you know, £50 represents really good value for lifetime membership. And if you're ever up in Campbelltown, you'll get a free warehouse tasting as well. So I mean, you know, really represents fantastic value. I think, you know, had a great time in there with Luke and Brian today. It's a great shop. It's in Chiltern Street in West London. If you are in the area, do, you know, really recommend you come and check it out.